Time to musk up.
Wow. All right, back again. Today I want to do a review of a fragrance that I really do adore. It's one of the Desert Gems from the Frederic Malle line. I think this was the second one released. The first one was The Night, and I do have that here. All right, and this one is definitely a difficult wear for probably most. And yeah, but what I'm here talking about is Dawn, and personally, I'm gonna say it, not many people say it, and this is the best Desert Gem fragrance in the line, personally, for me. Reason why, mostly because Promise is just way too strong, doesn't really do it for me. The Night is nice, I like it as well, but it's not very typical. And the Moon, I mean, my God, that thing is just one spray and that's it. The 100 ml I have is gonna outlive me. So yeah, but either way, I do like them all, but I find this one to be probably maybe the second most wearable and just the most well-made. And yeah, so let's get right into it. The notes for this fragrance is pink pepper, Turkish rose, olibanum, oud, labdanum, vetiver, and oak moss. And I do get most of that here. I did write down a couple of things when I first sprayed it on. And what the first thing that came to mind was antiseptic, kind of olives, infected tree, obviously the oud, kind of this rich, dry whiskey, not this immature whiskey, sweet whiskey that you get in modern day fragrances, but like a rich, expensive whiskey, and kind of desert air, because this fragrance is very dry, one of the most dry fragrances that I've smelled and that I own. So right off the top, you're definitely gonna get some, I don't know if it's necessarily pink pepper, I don't know, but I definitely get some spiciness, definitely get the rose, but I feel like most of the fragrance is already at the top because I get that dry, cold incense, the olibanum, right off the bat. And honestly, this is, if I had to say, this is my favorite Desert Gem, and this is probably my favorite incense fragrance by far. Bois d'Encens is there as well from the Armani Privé, but this is just on a different level. One spray obviously will do the job for most, but this one I could probably spray on 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't, and it's not that powerful, not like the others. Definitely the oud. The oud here is not like the one in the Night. Like, I don't even know how would you compare it. Like, in the Night, it smells like the tree is infected, but it's been infected and laying out in the sun, drying up and getting moldy, kind of like fertilizer, right? Like they threw down some fertilizer in the countryside when you're driving by, right? You definitely get that, but I don't really get that kind of poopy kind of fertilizer here. I get an infected tree, and this is one of the two that, these two do have real oud in them. The other two don't. And you can tell, like, this isn't, although I'm sure there's some limbinol in here and amberwoods and stuff like that, because like I said, this stuff is strong. But on top of that kind of infected wood, the oud that you get here, I definitely get the labdanum. I get that gummy, kind of rubbery, tar-like labdanum. That's where the amberiness comes from. Don't really get like any vanilla. Maybe some benzoin adds to the incensey touches, but I definitely get mostly the labdanum, because the labdanum here comes off leathery, woody, spicy, incensey, And I definitely get some vetiver as well in the dry down, because it also another typically a dry note, and I definitely get that in here as well. And I definitely get, I was gonna say that there's some kind of coniferous kind of green touches here as well, and I guess like forest floor kind of a thing. And you can say that possibly is the oak moss, because I definitely get some green spiciness, kind of like this angelica thing. Because although there isn't many notes here, I definitely get something here complex. I get a lot going on here. And I think someone in the Fragrantica comments called this the Bleu de Chanel of like Middle Eastern fragrances. And I kind of laughed when I heard that, because although this doesn't smell like Bleu de Chanel, but I kind of understood what he was talking about, because this smells like a mass appealing Middle Eastern fragrance, right? It's just done so well. It's just strong enough. It doesn't bother you, but yet there's still something very mysterious and beautiful about this. Almost like a church in the middle of like the forest. And this church uses oud, burns oud as well. And a church in the middle of like a blizzard. I don't know. I just get dry, cold air is what I get here. Although this is like, you know, this is typically something they would wear in the Middle East, but that's the vibe that I get here. And I guess maybe some of that oak moss is giving off that effect. Yeah, this stuff, really good. My favorite desert gem by far. Overall, I'll say here is that the notes here are kind of feel like they're all evenly blended. The rose here kind of goes away at the top, and after that I do get everything else in the fragrance. But everything is even. The olibanum, the oud, the vetiver, the labdanum. Although I would say the olibanum, the oud, and the labdanum is like a three-way tie, and then everything else is kind of underneath playing with the other notes. But it's just, like I said, overall just very well blended, and the notes play along very well here, and just overall very enjoyable wear. And I got really lucky with this actually. So I purchased this from Selfridges before Brexit. So before the prices went crazy. This was in 2020, right? We all know what happened in 2020. And I had a subscription to them where I would get free shipping for the year. And so I ordered the night and the dawn, not the dawn. It came in, and I noticed the night came inside its box, but dawn was not. It was wrapped in paper, and the barcode was on the bottom there. And I was like, what the hell is going on, right? And I flipped out, because I mean, we all know, like, well, in Europe and in the UK, this was priced at 1,100 for 400 ml, and in America this is priced at 1,600. So obviously I bought it from there, right? And no taxes before Brexit, but now they charge you taxes, and the prices have gone up to the point that Selfridges isn't even really worth it anymore. But anyways, so I got this in, and I have to say, like, I flipped out. I'm like, you can't be charging me this kind of money and then sending me this fragrance without the box, right? And so I went back and forth with them, and finally I basically got 50% off on this. And so I got this for 600 bucks. And so for not having a box, I'll take that deal. And this stuff is really good. I like it. But one thing I'm gonna say right here, this is not for everybody. So do not blind buy this whatsoever. All right. Try to sample it. I know it's not easy, but if the fear of missing out is kicking in, do yourself a favor and buy a sample of this. Even if it's just 1 ml, try it out, you know, get that fear of missing out of you, and you know, it might not be for you, and you might not want it anymore. And so that's what I would do. But either way, love this stuff. And yeah, that's my review of Dawn. Let me know if you've tried this. Take care. Bye.